The Aboriginal Workforce Participation Initiative has been established by our government to enable businesses and Aboriginal communities to come together in a good partnership in helping and assisting our Aboriginal communities for employment and for a future for their children and their family. This is your opportunity to really participate as Canadians in assisting our other Canadians in coming together as one. We in Canada are very, very fortunate. We have our very own workforce that has not been taken advantage of, and that is the Aboriginal community. You as a business can work together in partnership, and no matter what happens, we will all gain. We gain not only economically, but we also gain socially by assisting our families. Welcome to the 21st century, really, especially in relationship to the partnership that must be established between the Aboriginal community and the businesses of this country. I strongly urge all our businesses to really look into and come together and work within this initiative. It's so important and so exciting. Welcome to a very exciting initiative, the Aboriginal Workforce Participation Initiative.
It makes no sense to keep Aboriginal people poor and to keep the dependency cycles going. You know, our people are hardworking people. Once given the chance, our people can make this country as great as it could be and should be.
Imagine a workforce trained to your custom requirements. A workforce with strong ties to the local community, offering employers stability and dedication. A diversified workforce with a growing population that offers access to new markets. Imagine the opportunities. The Aboriginal Workforce Participation Initiative is managed and staffed by Aboriginal people within the Government of Canada. Its strategy is to make all stakeholders participants in creating a representative and diversified workforce.
AWPI has been approaching employers to see if they would agree to get ready their workplace for an integration of Aboriginal people.
For me, there's an opportunity here. There's an opportunity for us to be able to say these are our needs, and for the Aboriginal people to be able to have themselves ready, to be able to present themselves with the skills that we need in the workforce in the future.
AWPI's approach to partnership works. In more than 10 years of researching corporate Aboriginal relations, I've learned that the best relationships are based on mutual benefit and shared responsibility. AWPI takes those principles and transforms them into practice. Their strategies are breaking down barriers and creating opportunities for Aboriginal people in the workplace. They're turning ideas into action, and that's what gets results.
The work that AWPI does in gathering up the important data amongst the private industry is important information for every Aboriginal person and Aboriginal office. You know, because our people don't have those resources to go out there and gather that much needed data.
With 50% of the population under the age of 25, Aboriginal people are the fastest growing segment of Canada's population. AWPI is committed to a representative and diversified workforce strategy with workers in entry-level, middle, and senior management positions. This can be achieved through partnerships between public and private employers, unions, and Aboriginal communities.
With this strategy, we invite all relevant stakeholders to the table at the beginning of the process, which includes Aboriginal stakeholders, to ensure that the foundation is in place that will lead to long-term sustainable jobs.
When we meet with employers, we ask them to partner with us in 4 areas. The employment area of our initiative deals with getting information from the employer. That information is basically the qualifications and education experience necessary to acquire the job. We ask the employer not only to give us information on current jobs, but on jobs that they're looking at in their succession plan that will become open in 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road. That enables us to work with the Aboriginal community to prepare our people for integration into that workplace. The second area that we work on is the area of economic development. We ask for information about economic opportunities, the supply of goods and services to that organization. Third area that we work on is preparing the workplace itself. It enables Aboriginal people to go into a workplace that is barrier-free. That leads to long-term sustainable employment within that workplace. And finally, we work with organized labor. We work with unions to ensure that collective agreement rights are fully understood by the Aboriginal community and that collective agreements themselves are reflective of Aboriginal culture.
My motto has been learning has to lead to earning or don't do it. So we're saying to the young people in our schools, what do you need? What good information do you need? When you finish your school, you know exactly which workplaces will be hiring people with your skills. You get those resumes in there. I don't want you getting a job because you're disabled, female, or Aboriginal. I want you to get a job because you competed and won and you won it on your merit and your character.
So it's a win-win for both of us. And it's strictly business. It's got nothing to do with goodwill. It's got nothing to do with employment equity, which hasn't worked for us. And I think that's what employers really like, is because it's not rocket science. It's just bringing the demand and the supply side together.
But it's more than just the bottom line. By gaining an awareness of Aboriginal cultures, your business could access new markets and new opportunities.
At a time when other segments are declining, the Aboriginal population is in fact expanding. That's a potential customer base into the future. The more our workforce represents our customers, the better off we're going to be in terms of ideas, in terms of products that make them out, that we will think of in terms of meeting customers' needs. Good fit.
From large organizations to small local companies across Canada, the AWPI partnership strategy can find the people, the skills, and the stability you want in a workforce. We offer the management tools and the support to integrate Aboriginal people into your workforce. AWPI also complements other federal employment and economic development programs.
The partnership agreement focuses on Aboriginal employment development, and what the employer wants to do is build a representative workforce, including Aboriginal people, and the focus is on Aboriginal employment initiatives and preparing the workplace for Aboriginal people.
The local communities will get people who have good employment, who will develop skills that are useful in the marketplace, whatever marketplace it will be, and we'll bring that back to the local communities. I hope that fosters economic development in those local Aboriginal communities and helps them to move ahead as a group. So it's one person developing, growing, and earning a good income affects everyone around them. And it will make a difference. I'm convinced it will make a difference.
More and more Canadian companies are discovering the importance of developing ties to Aboriginal communities. They see their future linked hand in hand with the future of our young people.
It's in many respects a no-brainer because of the fact that we have such a shortage of people to recruit from. But it's also a no-brainer because we have so many people of Aboriginal ancestry that like to be treated by people of Aboriginal ancestry. Our staff know that, and as a result, the commitment is probably easier gained in this organization than many others. That doesn't mean to suggest that we don't have a lot more work to do. We do.
In Saskatchewan right now, it costs Saskatchewan government over $1 billion a year to keep Aboriginal people at home, and the maintenance costs and the lost productivity. That number is growing.
I was the token Aboriginal in the token position, and I was put there arbitrarily without any negotiations, without any process or anything. And I just made it an obligation to myself as an activist and now as a representative for CUPE that it's never going to happen again. I like to leave a legacy where they can walk into any workplace with their head held high, that they are equals, that they can participate in society wholly without any barriers.
We know it works when we can say we've hired 1,300 Aboriginal people, when we can say we've trained 1,500 managers. We do see those successes.
To me, this is an easy sell. This sells itself. It's an opportunity to have people in the workforce in the future that will meet the needs of any company, right in our own backyard that can step into positions and have a partnership that will work for us in the long term. I think any company that's looking for a diversity of thought and ideas and new entrants to the workforce can only look at this and say, we gain. We all come out ahead on this one.
New opportunities, a growing population, a stable workforce, training that suits your needs. Through the opportunities identified by the AWPI Partnership Strategy, Aboriginal youth can take their place among workers, managers, and executives. With provincial and territorial offices and a diverse network of contacts, we can put your vision to work today.
I would encourage this approach to be spread across Canada. I mean, I am most familiar with the healthcare sector, and I appreciate that the needs in many of the other provinces in healthcare are not dissimilar to ours. I also understand that the issues facing the Aboriginal community in many of the other provinces are not dissimilar to ours.
The benefit to the employer is access to the labor force, access to training resources that we can make available to that labor force to prepare for their unique business needs. And I think that's a real plus for employers who are scratching their heads wondering where they're going to get their labor force of the future.
Within Michelin, we pride ourselves on having the best tires in the world, the best quality, and on being the innovative leaders in the industry. We don't get there by having a monolithic workforce. We get there by having people who have sparks, have different ideas, have different interests, different cultures that all contribute to a diversity of ideas, a diversity of contribution to create a workforce that's innovative, a workforce that's energized and moves ahead.
Do you want to benefit from a diversified representative workforce? Establish a new working relationship. Put the skills of Aboriginal peoples to work for you.